What's up, you guys? So last video we went ahead and we finished undercoating. We're not entirely undercoating, but we coated and resealed the full underside of our convertible 300zx here. As you can see, it's all fresh black. And well, this episode what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be going back like we already did here in this wheel well, and we're going to be seam sealing. We're going to be doing the underside, the other three wheel wells. You can see in this wheel well that we actually undercoated it, but I'm not happy with how it turned out. It's not very rubberized or textured for how I wanted it, so it would kind of cover up any imperfections or runs in our Pour 15 like you can see there. So we just went to the parts store today. I managed to pick some of these up. They're pretty expensive. I seen them in another video. It wasn't really even related. I just seen it and I kind of liked how it came out, so I'm hoping this will do the job. These are about 16 bucks a piece. And for seam sealer, I'm just using some parts store seam sealer. It's like 20 bucks a tube. I'm really hoping I'm going to be able to salvage this and that this whole thing isn't ruined, or I'm going to be sick. Only used it on this one wheel well, but I guess we'll see. To be able to go and actually seam seal everything, we actually have to go and we have to find some sandpaper so we can prep the surface, which I found a little bit, and I just started sanding right here just to kind of get a feel for what kind of a sandpaper it was. Oh, well, there we go. I completely forgot that it says on the back. So this is actually what we need. If you look at the can, it says it recommends 180 to 240, and we're right in that spectrum. I have a little bit more somewhere, so we actually have to go find that before we start. Let's go find that sandpaper first. So we actually had to go to the store and we grabbed this right here from Harbor Freight, and we had to let the camera warm up a little bit, and we went ahead and put in some work. We got this rear driver all scuffed down, so instead of just seam sealing right away, let's move to the next wheel well and let's start scuffing. I think I started with the worst rear wheel well first because of the gas fill up hole that was tucked back in the corner. And I think they may be a little bit larger than these right here. I'm not 100% sure, but alrighty, looks like wheel well number 2 is finished. One left, and then we have one on the other side to touch up so we can actually recoat it with this Raptor liner and overdo that smart undercoating cheap stuff that I bought. I know, don't ever buy that stuff, you guys. Now the worst part about this is today's like the cold day. It's not really cold, but it's just really rainy, like 50 degrees, and this concrete just ain't it. It keeps sticking to my pants. This time I think we're gonna start with the harder part first. My arms get so tired when it comes to doing this top portion. I think we decided a lot of this hardware and stuff, we're actually gonna put it in and thread it in before we spray it with undercoating, so that way we really don't gum up the threads. I already have a feeling this Pour 15 is going to be a little tough when it comes to getting out some of these threads. Alright, now we are officially 3 of 4 wheel wells done. I actually think it looks kind of cool in here the way it looks when it's all scuffed up, because it goes from like perfect black to almost kind of like a cartoony or even just bare metal look, just purely because of the shine. With all things considered, I'm still sick to myself that I didn't grind these things down before I coated it. Literally all because I got everything wiped down clean, and then I realized that I didn't do that because I cleaned the whole rest of the car before this wheel well, and I didn't want to grind them all and get everything dirty to where I had to clean again because I was on a very limited schedule. Let's just say I didn't even get out of here till 4 a.m. that last video. Look at this to this. You literally like can't even tell that there was much there. You won't be able to tell once we undercoat and whatnot. But that was the whole thing that I was going for here. This is going to be the most annoying part, in my opinion. Have to sand directly up. No, we're going to be here for a while. So I just checked the GoPro with that last clip to see where we left off, and Well, you couldn't hear a single thing over the sandpaper. We moved on to this section. We're on the underbody now. We did skip the rear portion of the trunk and whatnot, because that's honestly going to be super easy. It'll take me maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most. And well, we have been busy over here. We got the whole passenger side all scuffed. Now we're down to the driver's side. Got the majority done up here in the front. We're just slowly working our way to the back. Do the rail, do one side of the rail, get it all finished up, do the other side of the rail, then the rear. So I'm kind of a little skeptical if our seam sealer is going to be any good, and I'm afraid to get in a predicament tonight where I'm relying on it. So the goal tonight, at minimum, is to get all this sanded down and get it cleaned up. Let's just keep trucking along. Scuffing this up. We've officially moved our way onto the back side of the car. We've got all the underside done. Tunnel, this, all the way up to right back here. In other words, all we have left to do, this section, up, and we're done. It appears everything's all scuffed up. Next step is wax and grease remove and clean everything up before we seam seal. Do it this way because usually it soaks all the way through the rag, and I can kind of just unfold the rag and I get kind of like 16 uses out of it almost. Now we did actually just come through here and scuff this one up that we just need to recoat. So let's just wipe it down first, because realistically it should be the easiest to check off the list. We'll just let that dry out. So I like this because you kind of know when you got it cleaned, because all the scuff marks go away and it gets a lot, you know, darker. Can't forget up here. So I actually scooped up some adhesion promoter today so we can spray it in some of these iffy areas and kind of like solidify that, you know, it's all gonna stick. And honestly, a lot of this stuff didn't even have seam sealer. I think just the frame rail here, frame rail up in here, yeah, it didn't even have it right there. But this coming down here and up had it. There was none there. Honestly, I don't remember there even being any right here. Yeah, we're also going to adhesion promote these over here on the side, since some of it's kind of hard to get to with the brush, if not impossible. And just, you know, some of these different harder to reach areas. I actually grabbed some stickers from Walmart, some little kid stickers to put over these holes. I'm trying to remember everywhere I go while I clean, you know, so I don't do the same part twice. Halfway done. Now we just need the wheel well, and half of the car is done. Yay, we're almost ready to seam seal. Alright, I think that's honestly going to sum up the side. We've got nearly everything at this point. Half the car done. Let's go finish the other half and we'll be back. Well, we just finished up this side. Only used a total of 2 full rags, and we actually used up every side on both rags, so just enough to wipe down all of your car. Now we'll just let some of that dry out a little bit, cure. Granted, it doesn't really matter. We can just start on the driver's side. Since we did it first, it shouldn't have to cure. Now that I think about it, we actually don't need to do that yet. This one's already been seam sealed, so we need to move back here. However, yesterday I did check this. We didn't use too much of it. We may need more, we'll have to see. We just had a couple people come by, pick up some parts. We actually got to meet some of you guys, which I always love to sit there and chat with you guys, especially talking about your Z, see what you got going on. I don't know, I just love these cars, and let's get started. Presumably everything's all dry from our wax and grease removing session. We're not using anything fancy here. This is just some AutoZone stuff. Once we start here, we're gonna have to keep rolling. As long as we don't wait like 15 minutes, we'll be fine. This won't gum up or anything, but we actually do need to clean the tip. You know, I'm actually gonna get you guys on the tripod. I don't think I'm gonna show you much underneath, but I'm gonna show you a little bit in the wheel well. This is gonna be very tedious and I don't wanna mess it up too bad. Man, this gun sucks. This caulk gun is so garbage. It keeps like stretching out on me or something. My hand is cramping and I'm just literally running the easiest, straightest bead that I can. Oh, there's first one down. Only like a gazillion to go. I'll be the first to admit I am absolutely terrible at this. However, as long as I get it in this seam, it can fill any sort of gap right there. I'm happy. Let's finish the up and around and we'll be back momentarily. We got all of this all seam sealed, so after I'd seen how bad I was doing it over here and I just couldn't get it right, I actually decided to go back and smear it all. Smudge it almost like you would caulking your bathtub or something. So we got everything done now. Got a couple seams up there done. And honestly, let's move on to the next wheel well. Oh yeah, we also did this little bit right here. When you go back and smudge it all with your finger, it makes it so much easier, like so much. And you know, since this wasn't that bad, I'm honestly kind of tempted to just go ahead and nail this underside over here so we can get it all out the way and we can, you know, chalk this whole side off. I think that's what we're gonna do. I have a feeling we're gonna need more seam sealer, so let's see kind of how much we use as an estimate by testing this side. I'm not going to show you guys this because it's going to be pretty hard to record with this big old tripod. That wasn't very fun. We may have went a little overboard. We've officially painted everything, both sides of the rail, pretty much everything encapsulated, smeared out, so there should not be any issues for moisture getting in the seams, you know, and seam sealer. And we actually went ahead, we did the couple back here in the trunk, so honestly, now we're officially well over halfway done with seam sealing. Don't judge me too bad, guys. I know it looks like crap and it kind of bothers me that it looks so bad. I see people use brushes, but we're actually about halfway done with the tube. So maybe what we might do is we might take care of the other side of the floor pan and then leave whatever we can get done, so that way if we do need to get an extra tube, it's strictly for the wheel wells. And honestly, it's still very hard to show you guys this when I'm trying not to get in the seam sealer at the same time, so we will be right back. And we've now got the passenger side fully seam sealed. All seams that I think, at least from looking at my other Z's, I found the seams that are sealed on it, so I kind of have a reference point. I don't entirely remember all of these where the seam sealer was completely at. Now that the full bottom side is done, honestly, the worst of all this is finished. There's definitely been quite the learning curve here. At least now I'm fairly comfortable on how I want to do this and go about it. And also, this stuff's starting to come out of the tube a lot easier. I think I may have cleared out the blockage. But yeah, I literally just use it like a caulk gun. Just fill it all in. Who cares about the excess? I'll take all the goop, residual. I'll just wipe it in another seam somewhere. Yeah, I'm literally moving 10 times faster than I have anywhere else. The stuff's actually coming out how it should. I just go back, push it all into the seam, so that way the seam gets completely filled and coated. Wipe off excess as needed. The first one took me forever today. No exaggeration. Here goes the big smear. Yeah. We literally have one seam left over here. Hey, we're really cutting it close on if we're gonna have enough seam sealer. This one's done, and our clip's only 9 minutes long, so we shaved a whole 12 minutes off of that from the last clip, and that wasn't even a full clip. Now this is where things start to get exciting. We literally don't have to go to the parts store. We can actually wait for it to dry. Once it dries, we can wax and grease remove every seam that we've done and just re-wipe everything down. Then we get to spray. This whole time I was anticipating today, you know, to be like a 1-day, 6-hour ordeal to scuff, wax, grease, remove, seam seal, you know. Yeah, I've highly underestimated that one. This is this is a lot more work than I bargained for at first, but I'm happy we're doing it. Let's go ahead and knock this side out. I won't make you guys watch. Now we've got everything seam sealed. Looking pretty good, I would say, at least in retrospect. Everything looks way better smushed down, I think, because if you get a look over here, you kind of just see that real thick bead and just mash everywhere. Guaranteed to seal everywhere, just not pretty, obviously. But this side over here was the very first one we did on our DIY wheel well restoration video, and well, let's just say we didn't. We just put a straight bead and did not touch it. It looked good in some places, but anytime I stopped for a millisecond and that bead got a little bit bigger, it's just, yeah, like up here it looks treacherous. Honestly, I did this wheel well probably 4 months ago, so I'm pretty happy with the growth that we've experienced in this time. I will say next time I seam seal, I'll be a little more prepared, kind of know what to expect, but we made it with one tube. Now let's let some of this sit. Let's let it cure for a little bit, or wax and grease remove it, and then we'll just spray directly over it. Try to do it in sections so we can always remember where we're at, even when it dries out. Man, this is so much tougher with the seam sealer on here. It gives it like 100 more things to snag onto. I think we actually are officially done now. This went a little bit quicker than the last time. I have to safely say that a lot of the dirt is absent now, so I'm pretty confident that we're going to get a pretty good adhesion here. Let's check the can and see what kind of steps and protocol we need to do to apply. Spray the adhesion promoter where we need it about 10-20 minutes in advance, 10 minutes between coats. So we're just going to shake this up, and then we're going to go back and we're going to tag all the weird spots we're possibly afraid that it may not stick. And it's getting humid out. I'm starting to literally sweat like it's 80 degrees out. All right, you guys get the gist. We will be back once all is said and done. All right, coat one's done. Let's wait 10 minutes and let's hit it again. Finally. Adhesion promoter is all done. Can's empty. We're gonna let this cure 20 minutes, and what better way to spend 20 free minutes than let's go out to our woods and mushroom hunt. A little mini bridge in my backyard. Thanks to this tree, we get nice things like this that decide to grow around it, that are delicious to eat. So the perk of having my own woods is I get to come out here, check, hunt for mushrooms any given time, and I don't have to pick them because I don't have to worry about anyone stealing them. We've actually got a little cluster of 3 right here. I decided to leave all these, assuming they'd grow, but honestly the growth is so minuscule. Not only that, but there's not very many extra growing out here. Not to mention how small they are. An Asian honeysuckle, get out of my woods. Look at that bad boy. That's what we're after. Yeah, this dude really hasn't grown at all the past couple of days. We're really gonna have to pick today. There he is. And his brother. So here's the section I kind of messed up. I got 3 rubberized undercoat and I got 2 tough. So I'm thinking we may use this for the underbody, maybe this on the wheel well. So we actually went back to this side and adhesion promoted the whole thing since it's already been undercoated and it's a little porous, and I just want to make sure that it'll stick everywhere. I did just remember I do need to kind of mask off these holes, especially for the rear, if I don't want to like undercoat the interior. And make sure you rattle your can every minute or so at least, especially when you're not using it. Yeah, that's more what I want. Yeah, it's a little wet still. But driver's side, wheel well, at least front, is all done. Let's move on to the rear. Let's actually do a nice little before and after over here on the rear. And just like that, we have a brand new wheel well. Looking nice. Now we'll catch you guys when we have the wheel wells finished, because we're looking mighty good back here now. Nice and uniform. Didn't really get to record it too well. My tripod is way too tall. My other tripod broke its leg, so it can't stay up straight. Since I did just coat a little bit here on the underside of the rear, I just went ahead and fully finished it out. That way we actually have one full side of the car finished. I had 3 rubberized, 2 tough. Now I have 1 rubberized and a partial tough with a full underside and 2 wheel wells to do. It's not looking too good. My big predicament right now is these are kind of hard to find. I think I bought all the local, only carry my AutoZone. I guess we need to do a little brainstorming and we'll have to come back and we'll let you guys know what the verdict is. I guess we'll check some online supplies. I think we've decided to go ahead and spray this one with the remainder of the can that we actually have. Well, we are officially done with honestly all that we're gonna get done. I'm so pleased with how this came out. Now let's go check the other side once it's had a little bit of time to dry. And this is what our finished product should look like. Man, that looks sharp. Honestly, it's not crazy different from that up there. I was hoping I'd get it a little more textured. And you know, for spending over 120 bucks on spray paint, I was hoping it'd cover up a little bit more, but I'm happy. Now what more can you ask for than to be happy with the work that you've done? Literally brand spanking new. So nice. Well, you guys, if you probably could have expected, we're gonna wrap the video up here. I've probably got an hour left of spray painting. I'll order some paint, get that in here ASAP, but at least now we can start assembling the driver's side. That means we can put all of our brake lines, fuel lines, all that, get it mounted under the car, and really start to actually assemble this thing and put it back together. Because that's my biggest hurdle right now. I want to get this car out of the barn so I can start focusing. There's a lot of you guys that want like parts. A lot of my stuff is like literally packed away. I can't even get it out right now without getting this car out here. I mean, I can get stuff out, but it's just so difficult when I have a 3 foot of area to work on both sides of the car to pull crates, pull my toolbox, and just move stuff. So for now, we're gonna have to wrap the video up, you guys. I'm already 2 days late. I thought this was gonna be a day ordeal, but this turned out to be a 20-hour ordeal in work time. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't worry, seriously, I'm not doing this soon, and I'm not gonna do video layouts this way for you guys anymore. It's boring, I know, I'm sorry, but really the hard part is done now. Let's start putting the car back together and let's get this thing traded for some work. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe down below if you liked the video and you want to stay tuned for more content. And until next time, we'll catch you then. Peace. Psych, we went ahead. We actually found some 30 minutes away at the kind of next town. Video's not over, but it is. I just want to show you guys kind of what it looks like all together, you know, before I end the video, because I told you I'm done not completing projects. So I couldn't take waiting another week for an answer. Now our full underbody is now fresh and so clean. Still a little wet back there. So I'm not too worried about how even it is on the bottom, because you see it's kind of light and dark. Some of that is because that side is wet. However, this side is completely dry, and honestly seeing that stripe, that's probably just from it being too close. There's not a whole lot I can do down here. I literally can get, if I'm spraying at the recommended distance, it's right here, and you can't spray directly up. It just doesn't work. So for what we're able to do here, I'm pretty satisfied with it. At least a rotisserie would be optimal, obviously, but now we have a brand new underbody. And here, this wheel well's still a little wet, kind of splotchy, not too bad. We just touched it up since we actually found 2 more full cans of rubberized. This one though, this is uniform and it looks super clean. Yeah, it's looking sharp. I'm honestly really happy with how this turned out. I'm kind of sad it's not my car. Well, it is, but it won't be. I'm forever kicking myself for that. Learn from my lessons. Don't forget, don't procrastinate, just get it done, or else you'll have a half done, half undone side, like me. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe down below, and stay tuned for our next one. I'll catch you then, guys. Peace.